Okay, so let me see if I can present a window. Yes, I can present that. I'll do that. Thank you. So is my window you can see this window, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is nice. So first we are going to start with something called TDS equation. They are also equation of states. Just yesterday we learned something called internal energy equations. They were also equation of states, equations of state, and this TDS equations are also equations of state. So what is TDS equation? They are equations which are written in this form: T into ds equal to something, whatever that can be, something can be. And they are tremendously useful in your thermodynamics, tremendously useful. Either you are student of chemistry, either you are student of physics, they are useful. Whenever you go to laboratory, you use these equations, actually use these equations in your research purposes. Okay, so what is, there are three TDS equations, I'll be teaching you two TDS equations and giving you one for your homework. Uh, so you can do it easily do it. Okay, so what is TDS equation? They are some kind of equations of state. Yes. So we can assume any thermodynamic variable just from the mathematical tools that we studied. We knew that we can assume any function of x and y to we can assume any function of x, y, and z. If x, y, and z are having some form of functional relation, then you can consider any of these guys as a function of either function f and any one of these variables. We proved this theorem mathematically. So if you have fx, a function of xyz, and xyz also have some relation in between them, so you can consider any one of these guys as a function of other two guys. So in that sense, we are going to use this theorem of mathematics, and we are going to assume first. Let's assume first, we are going to see that this entropy in the similar way can be function of pressure and volume, or entropy either can be function of pressure and temperature, or entropy can either be function of volume and temperature. Anything, entropy can be function of any of these guys. These guys are relatively easier to measure in the laboratory, PV and T. So entropy, we want to express this entropy in terms of pressure, volume, and temperature, so that we can easily measure the small changes in entropy in the laboratory by measuring these guys, PV and T. So either entropy can be function of pressure and volume, or pressure and temperature, or volume and temperature, anything. It can be function of anything. So for each one of these, we have one TDS equation. So one TDS equation, if we assume entropy to be function of volume and temperature, one for pressure and temperature, one for pressure and volume. Why are we assuming entropy to be function of these two guys? Because for any equation of state, function of S, P, V, T is equal to 0. Function of entropy, pressure, volume, temperature is equal to 0, and these guys have some interrelations between them, just as in ideal gas case, PV equal to nRT. So these three guys have some relation in between them. So you can express entropy as anything, as a function of pressure and volume, or pressure and temperature, or volume and temperature, anything. So this is what we mean, and this is the reason why we can do this thing, because this is an equation of state. In any equation of state, function of state variables is equal to 0. This is the equation of state, just like this: PV minus nRT equal to 0. This is an equation of state. Here these state variables PV and T, function of this PV and T is equal to 0. So this is equation of state. These kind of equation of states, we know so many equations of state, we can obtain as many as we like. So three equation of state we want to obtain in terms of entropy. This is our purpose. So entropy can either be function of any of these guys. So let's talk about this guy first, because it is the easiest. So entropy can be thought of as a function of V and T. So small differential change in entropy can be given as del S by del V at constant temperature dt plus del S by del T constant volume dt. Oh, sorry, here it should be dV. I'm sorry. Yes. Okay, so here it should be dV. Now, this is the ds, small change in entropy. Now let's multiply it with T, because we want TDS equation. That's why they are called TDS equation. It is very obvious, plus T times del S by del T at constant V dt. Now, for any reversible process, for any reversible process, okay, let me see if I'm making any mistake. No, I'm not making any. For any reversible, let's say isochoric process, for any reversible process whatsoever, any reversible process, T into ds can be written as dq for any reversible process. But now, since it is a reversible isochoric process, so you can write T into ds at some constant volume. So T into, instead of ds, it should be del S at constant volume equal to dq at constant volume. And now you can see this guy, T into ds by dt at constant volume, therefore can be written as, therefore T into del S by del T at constant volume, therefore can be written as dq by dt at constant volume. And it is nothing but the specific heat. It is heat capacity. It is not specific heat, but it is heat capacity at constant volume. So this guy is Cv. This guy whole as a whole is Cv. This is what we do in all the TDS equation. We can write this as Cv, and we can change this expression from the expression of entropy to an expression of something which is measurable, either pressure or volume or temperature, anything. So using Maxwell's relation, we can do that. Del S by del V, we can change this side into something measurable, and we know this Maxwell's relation. So we know this Maxwell's relation, del S by del V at constant temperature is equal to del P by del T at constant volume. If so, anybody of you can remember this, they can tell me. They can easily see this. This is the Maxwell's relation. Del S by del V at constant temperature is del P by del T at constant volume. This is the Maxwell's relation. Yes. So we can change this guy using that guy, and we can change this guy using Cv, the heat capacity. Therefore, this TDS equation will become Cv dt plus, here I wrote Cv dt plus, here the C should be capital, I think. Okay, so you understand it as a capital C. I'll write small c by some different means if it is there. But this is capital C. It means heat capacity, not specific heat. It is heat capacity. Cv dt plus it is T del P by del T at constant volume dV. So this is known as the first TDS equation. It is that simple. You can derive it on your own. It is that simple. So this is known as first TDS equation. It is also an equation of state, and it is useful for various purposes. You can easily see that it is useful for various purposes. One of the purposes, let's take an example where it is useful. One of the examples where it is useful. In case of van der Waals gas, if you have 1 mole of van der Waals gas, and if that 1 mole is going into an isothermal expansion, if that 1 mole is going into an isothermal expansion from, if that 1 mole is going into an isothermal expansion from the initial volume Vi to the final volume Vf. Now this volume is a molar volume because we are talking about 1 mole of gas. So this volume is, we need not say it specifically, but this volume is a molar volume. These guys are molar volumes. Just as we wrote it yesterday, Vm, but since the notation will become cumbersome, I am not writing it as Vm, molar volumes, but you understand it that they are Vm. तो हम कर क्या रहे हैं, एक बॉक्स है हमारे पास जिसके अंदर रियल गैस भरा हुआ है, दैट इज वान der Waals गैस. ठीक है, रियल गैस भरा हुआ है. अब हम इसको एट अ कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर थोड़ा सा एक्सपांड कर रहे हैं. वॉल्यूम इनिशियली अगर इस गैस का Vi था, वहां से लेकर हम इस गैस के वॉल्यूम को Vf तक ले जा रहे हैं. एंड इन दैट प्रोसेस टू कीप दिस टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट, जैसे ही ये पिस्टन ऊपर चढ़ेगा, दिस गैस विल कूल डाउन, but we don't want it to cool down, so we have to supply some heat because we want the process to be isothermal. We don't want it to cool down. जैसे ही पिस्टन बाहर जाएगा, it will cool down. ये तो आपको पता है. Yesterday we had a discussion about it. तो हमें इसको कूल डाउन नहीं होने देना है, सो वी हैव टू सप्लाई सम हीट इनटू इट। तो वो जो हीट कितना अमाउंट सप्लाई करना पड़ेगा हमें इतने वॉल्यूम को चेंज करने के लिए, दैट इज अवर पर्पस टू कैलकुलेट कि कितना हीट सप्लाई करना पड़ेगा टू चेंज दिस वॉल्यूम फ्रॉम वी आई टू वी एफ फॉर एन आइसोथर्मल एक्सपांशन। दिस इज अवर क्वेश्चन। So to do this real life analysis, we can use this TDS equation that we obtained just now. We can use this TDS equation for van der Waals gas. How can we use this equation? So since the process is isothermal, the process is isothermal, so we can say that there is no change in temperature, so dt is equal to 0. Therefore you can easily write TDS equal to, and let me use one more word here, it is reversible isothermal expansion. It is reversible isothermal expansion. That means there are no losses. Piston जब भी चलेगा तो मतलब walls of the cylinder, there is no friction between piston and the walls of cylinder, so there are no losses at all. So it is reversible isothermal expansion. And since the process is isothermal, dt is 0, therefore we can write TDS equal to T into del P by del T at constant V into T. Using this del P by del T at constant V dV. So this is from the TDS equation, from first TDS equation. Now we want to calculate how much heat goes inside. So TDS for reversible process, you can write TDS is dq, the amount of heat that went inside, and this is equal to T del P by del T at constant volume dV. Now can you calculate this del P by del T at constant volume for me for van der Waals gas? You know for van der Waals gas P is equal to RT upon Vm minus B minus A by Vm square. This is molar volume, so we will not write Vm here because we understand that it is 1 mole of gas. It is not many moles of gas. So I'm not writing it as Vm, but okay, let's write it Vm. It means molar gas. So can you calculate this for me? This is the van der Waals equation of state. Yesterday we understood it intuitively. So here, if we want to calculate del P by del T at constant volume, how much should be the answer? Okay. Is this correct, or do I need to add or subtract anything?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do I need to subtract? Yes, sir means it is correct or it is not correct?
No, it is correct. Good.
Thank you. So we can move fast with the mathematics. So therefore we can write this dq as you can give this equation number 1 and equation number 2 if you like for simplified mathematics, but this dq can be written as r t upon Vm minus B into dV. You can write it like this. Therefore, the total change in entropy, total change in heat for the isothermal expansion delta Q is going to be equal to T into R into dV upon Vm minus B's integration from initial volume to final volume. Since it is 1 mole gas, now I am omitting this Vm. I am not going to write this Vm since it is a 1 mole gas anyways. So or whatever the volume is occupied by the gas, it is the molar volume. So therefore delta Q you can write it as Tr ln Vf minus B upon Vi minus B. And this is the amount of heat you need to give to the gas at constant temperature T for its isothermal expansion. This is the amount of heat you need to provide the gas. So this is what we wanted to calculate. So you can easily calculate this using our first TDS इक्वेशन. सो अगर आपको कोई गैस का कंटेनर है उसको आइसोथर्मली एक्सपांड करना है, उसका टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट रखना है, तो आपको कुछ हीट प्रोवाइड करना पड़ेगा, अदरवाइज वो गैस जैसे एक्सपांड होगा कूल डाउन हो जाएगा. आपको कूल डाउन नहीं होने देना है. You have to supply some heat, and what is the amount of heat? This is the amount of heat. So this is the amount of heat supplied to the real gas I'm sorry, real gas or van der Waals gas for isothermal expansion. It is reversible isothermal expansion. So what I can do is for any competitive exams, what generally they do is they give you the values of volume, they give you the value of V for real gas, and they give you the value of temperature कि भाई इस टेम्परेचर पे है, मान लो रूम टेम्परेचर पे गैस है, अब इतना एक्सपांड करना है, तो हाउ मच हीट डू यू नीड टू सप्लाई, यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट दैट इन जूल. For different gases the parameter B is different, so you can get that from any book for a particular gas. So in any competitive exams they just play with these equations. So whatever we are doing here is just playing with these equations. So either you can have the they will give you the value of VF, VI, T and P. All the values will be given and you need to calculate delta Q. That is what they do in any competitive exams. अब उसके लिए आपको क्या पता होना चाहिए, ये क्वेश्चन अगर आपको पूछा जाए कि रियल गैस और वान डेर वाल्स गैस इज एक्सपांडेड लाइक दिस, तो उसके लिए आपको क्या क्या पता होना चाहिए. आपको पता होना चाहिए कि भाई वान डेर वाल्स गैस जब भी एक्सपांड होता है आइसोथर्मली, सो व्हाट हाउ कैन वी अचीव दिस अमाउंट ऑफ हीट सप्लाई टू रियल गैस, तो उसके लिए मुझे टीडीएस इक्वेशन का यूज करना पड़ेगा. और वो अगर आपको पता है, आपको टीडीएस इक्वेशन डिराइव करना पता है, तीनों इक्वेशन डिराइव करने के लिए यू जस्ट हैव टू अज्यूम कि एंट्रोपी इज आइदर फंक्शन ऑफ पी एंड वी और दिस. आप किसी भी एक टीडीएस इक्वेशन को डिराइव करेंगे, आपको पता चल जाएगा ये इक्वेशन काम का है कि नहीं. यू कैन डिराइव इट वेरी फास्ट. Just go through this derivation once or twice. If you want to remember this, I have no problem. But either you can derive this very fast, you can put it dt equal to 0 for isothermal expansion, and then you can calculate the amount of heat required easily using this expression. So either you can remember this expression or you can do it anywhere by deriving it. And that derivation won't even cost you your precious 1 minute in that exam, because if you know how to derive this, okay, when I was a student, and still my some of my friends think that in physics in classroom there should be no derivation, just directly supply them with the results and get the things going. But that is not the case, because I feel that you don't need to remember many things if you just know how to do derivations. Because if you can do derivations, you don't remember many things, then eventually you get things going easily. So that's what my perspective is for competitive exams. So in competitive exams, they just ask this kind of questions only. They won't ask anything out of the universe. They will ask these kind of questions only. So first you have to think, that is the catch, that you have to think that how to obtain that heat supplied to the gas by using TDS equation. So that is the crucial point that you need to immediately think about just as you read the question. So that is how you can approach any competitive exams whatsoever. And whenever I'm talking about competitive exams, I'm as well talking about this our end-sem exams or any exams whatsoever. So you will be supplied, you can be supplied with any of the datas, and you can do the numerical calculations. That is up to you. That is not because you can formulate as many questions as you want if you remember or understand this equation. If you can understand this equation, you can yourself formulate so many questions. You don't even need me or any examiner to do that. Okay, because those are just putting numbers here and there. It doesn't matter at all. The temperature here is in degree centigrade, right? Temperature here or anywhere, what in thermodynamics, the temperature is in degree centigrade, right? Am I right, or do you need to modify this statement?
Kelvin.
Yes, it is in Kelvin always. It is not in degree centigrade. Never it is in degree centigrade. It is always in Kelvin. Okay, so yes. Okay, so let's assume now for the second TDS equation. This is the use of first TDS equation. You can calculate the amount of heat supplied to any gas. Now let's go to the second TDS equation and assume that entropy is the function of temperature and pressure instead of temperature and volume. Now it is a function of temperature and pressure. So you can write a small differential change in entropy. Just directly multiply with T. So equation becomes faster. The calculation becomes faster. Del S by del T at constant pressure dt plus T del S by del P at constant temperature dP. Now again you need to do the same thing. Since it is a reversible process, this guy will become Cp, because reversible process. For any reversible process, this TdS becomes dq. Therefore, TdS by del T at constant pressure becomes Cp, and you need to change this guy from something measurable. So entropy is not measurable. So how can you change this guy? You need this Maxwell's relation del V by del T at constant pressure, and it is negative this time. So it is minus del V by del T at constant pressure. So eventually you got the second TdS equation. It is that simple. Second TdS equation is Cp dt minus T del V by del T at constant pressure dp. I hope you can derive these kind of Maxwell's relation by yourself, right? You can do this. So there are only four Maxwell's relation. I'm using any one of them at a point, any one of them. So this is known as the second TdS equation. And if you have any doubts till this point, kindly ask. Any doubts till the first or second TdS equation? Any doubts? Kindly ask. Okay. So moving forward, this TdS equation is very useful. Even compared to the first TdS equation, this is more useful. Why? Because here we are talking about constant pressure, which is easily achievable in laboratory. बस खुली हवा में experiment करो under atmospheric pressure. You can easily get a constant pressure. But in first TdS equation, the thing which was kept constant was volume. Volume is tremendously hard to keep it constant because there is always some thermal expansion. थोड़ा सा but thermal expansion होगा. But pressure you can easily keep it constant. Just do experiments in open laboratory, open space. So the pressure is the atmospheric pressure. वही तो है बस. So chemistry students and for physics as well, for condensed matter physics is a big part. In condensed matter physics, in solid state physics, if you do the research in the laboratory, the majority part is undertaken by the chemistry. So you need to learn proper chemistry, some chemistry or the other, to actually start doing research in the condensed matter physics. And that condensed matter physics or for chemistry student, this equation is going to be more useful because pressure is easy to keep constant. So this is the second TdS equation. Now this is more useful. So let's talk about its uses. What is its use? So it is again useful for the heat calculations. So let's talk about something. It is useful for heat calculations of solids and liquids as well, because solids and liquids as well, you can keep pressure constant easily for solids and liquids. So application of this equation, the first application for this equation is heat and internal energy calculations for heat and internal energy calculations for, let's say, reversible isothermal compression. Whenever I use this word compression, it means change in pressure. Compression, or let's write it change in pressure. So if you have any substance, either it is solid, liquid or gas, if you compress it isothermally, then you have to supply it some heat. Let's talk about gas for a moment because it is relatively easier to understand. So you have a piston, a gas inside here and a piston. If you push this piston, that means you are compressing the gas. You are increasing the pressure here. So if you press this piston, the temperature of this part will increase, of course. And if it will increase, you want to change this pressure in isothermal way. So you need to take out some heat. You need to take out some heat, and how much the amount of heat you need to take out for some specific change in pressure, that is what we want to calculate here. Okay, and since you are taking out the heat and you are also doing some work, because you are pushing this piston in, so you are also doing some work. So from this heat and this work, you can calculate how much the internal energy of this gas changes. Now the same principle that we discussed for gas can be applied to solid or liquids. You can press the solid or liquid. If you want to press it isothermally, you need to supply some heat, or you need to take out some heat, whatever, and that will eventually change the internal energy of the substance as well. So we want to calculate these two guys mathematically. We want to find the formula for these two guys. How will we do it? Definitely we will use this internal TDS equation. Okay, I hope the idea is clear. What do we want to do? We want to compress something isothermally. Anything, solid, liquid, gas, anything. We want to do it isothermally. So for isothermal process, T is constant. So since T is constant, so dt is 0. Therefore, you can easily write this TDS equal to minus T del V by del T at constant P dP. Minus T del V by del T at constant pressure dP. This is the TDS equation, second TDS equation. Second TDS equation. So now we want to calculate the amount of heat. So how will we do it? This TDS for any reversible process is the amount of heat, and this is equal to minus del T. And you know this guy, right? This del V by del T at constant pressure. You know this. Can you tell me what is this? It means if you change the temperature, how much the volume will change. So what does it give you? If you just divide it by 1 by V, what does it give you? आप किसी भी चीज का टेम्परेचर चेंज करते हो तो क्या होता है उसमें, मतलब टेम्परेचर लेट से इंक्रीज करते हो.
Expansion.
Yes, so this is expansion coefficient. Thank you. This is expansion coefficient beta, but this is isobaric expansion coefficient beta p. You can do the expansion isobarically, or you can do this expansion in some other way as well. This is isobaric expansion coefficient. So this guy del V by del T at constant pressure, I can write it as V into beta p. I can write it as V into beta p, and you can write it as dP here. Okay, it is clear, right? You can change the temperature, expansion happens. Now you can change the pressure and volume changes, that is called compression. Pressure आप बढ़ाते हो और volume change होता है, that is compression. Temperature बढ़ाते हो volume बढ़ता है, that is expansion. Okay, so if there is dP here at constant T maybe or anything else, then it is compressibility, but we are not interested in that. So okay, we are interested in this part. Since this is dq, therefore for the whole process, अगर आपको pi volume से pf volume तक जाना है, for the whole process, delta q is given by minus t v beta p pf minus pi. This is delta q. Here we did some tricks. I just didn't tell you that this integration cannot be done directly. Why? Because this q is integration dq. So let me do some rough work here. Let me do some rough work, and I can show you that this integration cannot be done directly. This is the rough work section. So this dq is equal to q, which is equal to tv beta p dp. Now you cannot take these three guys out of the integration unless they are independent of pressure. Suppose that T is independent of pressure because temperature is anyways constant in isothermal process, but V and beta P might depend on the pressure. So this integration should be like this, and you have to find out कि भाई ये कैसे कैसे pressure पे depend करते हैं, उसके बाद integrate करना चाहिए था, but we directly take them out और फिर ये pressure का integration कर दिया. Why we can do this? We can do this because experimentally, okay, let me write it here, because experimentally V and beta P are independent of P, almost independent of P. I should not write independent of P, but they are almost independent of P. Even if you change pressure V and beta P, volume and beta P, for most solids and liquids, so experimentally for most solids and liquids, we are not talking about gas, but we are talking about solid or liquid. So for most solid and liquid, the volume of the solid and liquid and the expansivity of solid or liquid is independent of pressure. Let me give you a simple example of mercury. Example for mercury, if you just change pressure from 0 atmospheric pressure to 1,000 atmospheric pressure, a 0 atmospheric pressure to 1,000 atmospheric pressure, how much V changes? V changes by only 1/3%. Okay. So how much V changes? V changes by only 0.33%. मतलब आपके पास अगर 1 मीटर क्यूब का बॉक्स था, 1 मीटर क्यूब का सॉलिड था, उसका वॉल्यूम 1 मीटर क्यूब था, then the volume will change by only 0.33%. मतलब कि 0.33%. It is 0.33%. That means it is 1 minus 0.0033. It is that much small change in volume. अभी जो फाइनल वॉल्यूम होगा, आइदर आपने प्रेशर बहुत ज्यादा बढ़ाया तो द सॉलिड शुड बी कंप्रेस्ड, और वो कितना कंप्रेस्ड होगा तो उसका जो न्यू वॉल्यूम होगा वो इतना होगा बस, 1 minus 0.0033. That is nearly equal to 1 meter cube for all practical purposes. For all practical purposes. That's why it is negligible change in volume. So almost independent of pressure. Similarly, in beta as well, the change in beta is only 4%. Only 4%. And since beta is a big number, this 4% eventually comes out to be very small number. So 4% is also, आपने प्रेशर को 1000% बढ़ाया है, you increase pressure by 1000%. Here the change is only 4%. You can definitely neglect it. That's why we are assuming that V and beta are constant, and that's why we are taking it out of integration, and that's why this is the formula for it. Okay, so this is the trick that I used actually. If I did not tell you this, even everything will go on fine because you guys are anyways not asking questions. But this is the trick that I use here. I use some experimental facts. Okay, so for mercury, this thing happens. Even if you change pressure from 0 to this big number, volume or beta does not change at all. You can say that. Okay, so now, therefore, you can have this Q. Therefore, let me write this formula for Q again. So formula for delta Q is minus TV beta P, PF minus PI. So let us operate this formula, and now I can give you these values of volume and beta and temperature and pressure, and I can tell you to calculate this Q, which we will do tomorrow if you guys are ready, which we will do tomorrow. But this is all it is. But now let's dig into some more physics. Do not put numbers in here. We can put numbers in here and I can ask you this question. But let us, for the time being, not put numbers here and do some physical calculations. So from this we can say that if we increase P isothermally, that's what we did. This is all the calculation for isothermal compression. So if we increase P isothermally, then what happens is, if we increase P, this is the word, if we are increasing P, that means final pressure is more than the initial pressure. That means that this number is positive. So let me write it here. This number is positive. Now volume and temperature both are the guys which are always positive. That means if either we have to supply heat to the system or we have to supply heat, or we have to take out the heat from the system, only depends on this number beta. So therefore this Q, this Q or delta Q is going to be negative if beta is positive, and delta Q is going to be positive if beta is negative. Now I want you guys to tell me that what I wrote here. This is the part of mathematics, but now I want you guys to tell me what do I mean physically by writing these statements. So for the first statement, can anybody just try? What do we mean by delta Q less than 0? What can you say about heat? Did we give the heat or did we extracted the heat? If delta Q is 0, less than 0, sorry. Can anybody just point out this? Help me with this. If delta Q is 0, yes, somebody is formulating, that means
Extracting the heat.
extracting the heat. How can you explain it? Can you explain it?
It is less than 0, so it is decreasing, obviously.
Yes. So final heat is less than the initial heat. That means heat flows out of the system. Heat flows out of, yes, definitely we are extracting the heat. Heat flows out of the system. If beta is greater than 0, what do we mean? What do we understand by beta greater than 0 or beta p greater than 0? Can anybody tell me that physically? What do we mean by beta greater than 0?
Expansivity is increasing.
Yeah, expansivity is greater than 0. So
Is
it is
increasing.
constant number. Yes, it is a constant number. So it is not increasing, but it tells you something physically.
Expansion takes place.
Yes, expansion takes place. Contraction will not take place. So expansion will take place if beta is greater than 0. It is a constant number. So if beta is greater than 0, that means अगर आप सिस्टम को और हीट करोगे तो एक्सपांशन होगा. If beta is greater than 0, that means कि अगर आप सिस्टम को हीट करोगे तो एक्सपांशन होगा. This is what we generally observe. जैसे आप मेटल का रोड है, अगर पटरी देखोगे रेल की, रेल ट्रैक्स, if you go and see the rail tracks, in the summer time they will expand and in the winter time they will contract. So if you give the temperature to the system expands, that means beta is positive. And if you give the temperature to the system and system still contracts, that means beta is negative. Okay, so if you increase the temperature, फिर भी वो अगर वो सब्सटेंस अपना वॉल्यूम कम कर रहा है, इवन इफ यू आर इंक्रीजिंग द टेम्परेचर, फिर भी वो वॉल्यूम कम कर रहा है सिस्टम अपना, दैट मीन्स बीटा इज लेस देन 0. वो कंप्रेशन नहीं हो रहा, वो कंप्रेशन हो रहा है, वो एक्सपांशन नहीं हो रहा है. ओके, सो दिस इज द बेसिक फिजिकल डिफरेंस दैट यू नीड टू कीप इन माइंड. तो कोई भी सॉलिड होगा, generally for most solids beta is greater than 0 for most solids, apart from rubber band, if you give it some heat it will contract, but apart from rubber band this beta is 0 for almost all the metals. That means कोई भी मेटल में आप उसको प्रेशराइज करोगे आइसोथर्मली, अगर आप उसको कांस्टेंट टेम्परेचर पे रख के प्रेशर देना स्टार्ट करोगे तो आपको सिस्टम से हीट निकालना पड़ेगा टू कीप इट्स टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट. और ये हमने देखा हुआ है कि आप जब भी एक मेटल रोड को, एक मेटल का कोई भी रोड है, अगर कोई मतलब इफ एनीबडी हैज गॉन टू द आयरन स्मिथ बोलते हैं उसको, लोहार के पास अगर कोई गया है, इफ ही इज हैविंग his hammer in his hand, ये हैमर है उसका. Okay, let's talk about something which is more relevant, not about Lohar and everything. Suppose there is an Iron Man and Thor. Okay, so this Thor has his hammer and Captain America has his shield here. Okay, so when Thor hits his hammer on the shield of Captain America, shield गर्म होता है. Okay, and this shield increases its temperature. So to keep its temperature constant, if we want to apply pressure on this shield at a constant temperature, तो गर्म हो रहा है तो उसका हीट हमें देना पड़ेगा. We need to extract out the heat to do this process, and this is obvious process. आपने अपनी लाइफ में बहुत बार देखा है कि जब कोई भी लोहार बहुत हथौड़े मारता है किसी मेटल पे, उसके बाद उसको ठंडा करने के लिए उस पर पानी छाटता है. ठीक है, पानी छिड़कता है. तो दैट इज व्हाट यू हैव ऑलवेज सीन. कोई भी ड्रिलिंग मशीन होगा, कोई वॉल में अगर कोई ड्रिलिंग करेगा उस पर, ठीक है, आपने कोई दीवार में ड्रिलिंग देखा है, ड्रिलिंग मशीन ऑल्सो गेट्स हीटेड अप. ठीक है, क्योंकि आप दीवार को प्रेशराइज कर रहे हो, उसको ड्रिल कर रहे हो, तो ठीक है, तो ड्रिलिंग मशीन भी गर्म हो जाता है तो उसको पानी में डालना पड़ता है टू कीप इट कोल्ड. ठीक है, बिकॉज वी वांट टू डू द प्रोसेस आइसोथर्मली. एक्चुअली द आइसोथर्मल प्रोसेस शुड बी वेरी इनफाइनाइटेसिमल, मतलब थोड़ा सा हथौड़ा मारा, थोड़ा सा जैसे ही टेम्परेचर बढ़ा, you take the heat out, you take the heat out, you take the heat out. This has to be continuous process. but जब ये प्रोसेस कंटिन्यूस नहीं होती है, तब थोड़ा थोर जब मारता है कैप्टन अमेरिका के शील्ड पे तो टेम्परेचर बढ़ता है. वी हैव सीन दिस. ओके, वी हैव सीन दिस. तो वो जो टेम्परेचर इंक्रीमेंट है वो ना हो, इसके लिए हमें हीट सिस्टम से बाहर निकालना पड़ेगा. व्हाई टेम्परेचर इज इंक्रीजिंग? बिकॉज बीटा इज ग्रेटर देन 0. अगर बीटा ग्रेटर देन 0 नहीं होता, फॉर लेट अस से वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग अबाउट मेटल, लेट अस से वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट समथिंग एल्स जिसका बीटा नेगेटिव है. अगर बीटा नेगेटिव है तो दिस नंबर इज नेगेटिव, दैट मींस दिस इज पॉजिटिव, दैट मींस वी हैव टू सप्लाई सम हीट. सो हीट फ्लोज इनसाइड द सिस्टम, सो फ्रॉम सिस्टम, so we have to supply some heat to keep it at constant temperature. Can you give me some example of beta less than 0 जहां पे हम टेम्परेचर बढ़ाते हैं फिर भी वॉल्यूम कम होता है? Can you give me some example apart from rubber band? So one example here is rubber band. Can you give me one more example?
Anomalous behavior of water.
यस, थैंक यू वेरी मच। दिस, जब भी हम वाटर को 0 to 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड में गर्म करते हैं, 0 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड टू 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड, उसमें जब हम वाटर को हीट करते हैं तो उसका वॉल्यूम डिक्रीज होता है। यू हैव स्टडीड दिस प्लॉट इन योर 11th standard. So this is the plot. This is the plot. So in this region, this is the 4 degree centigrade, this is 0 degree centigrade. In this region, water experiences anomalous behavior. Even if you increase the temperature, the volume of the water goes down. और इसी की वजह से मतलब जो जीव सृष्टि है पानी के अंदर वो चलती रहती है, इवन इफ द टेम्परेचर गोज डाउन, वो सब हमने पढ़ा हुआ है बहुत कुछ। बट दिस इज द प्रैक्टिकल यूज ऑफ इट, कि जब भी 0 to 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड वाटर को आप कंप्रेस करोगे स्टिल, तो उसका टेम्परेचर क्या होगा, उसको अगर आप स्टिल कंप्रेस करोगे, 0 to 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड में वाटर होगा, उसको स्टिल कंप्रेस करोगे तो उसका टेम्परेचर कम होगा। उसको कंप्रेस करोगे तो उसका टेम्परेचर बढ़ेगा नहीं। मतलब आप 0 to 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड टेम्परेचर का वाटर है, उसको आप कंप्रेस करो यूजिंग सम पिस्टन्स, उसका टेम्परेचर एक्चुअल में कम होगा, बढ़ेगा नहीं। इवन इफ यू आर कंप्रेसिंग इट, उसका टेम्परेचर कम होगा। अदरवाइज टेम्परेचर बढ़ रहा था, इवन वेन एवर यू आर कंप्रेसिंग इट टेम्परेचर बढ़ रहा था, बट 0 to 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड वाटर इज अ ब्यूटीफुल एग्जाम्पल ऑफ बीटा लेस देन 0। तो उस केस में आपको हीट सिस्टम में फ्लो करवाना पड़ेगा टू कीप द टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट, क्योंकि टेम्परेचर कम हो रहा है सिस्टम का। In that case, you have to supply some heat. Okay, this is the physical part of this equation, which is beautifully physical. क्योंकि हमने ये सब देखा हुआ है। फर्स्ट पार्ट, हीट फ्लोज आउट ऑफ द सिस्टम, हमने देखा हुआ है। क्योंकि हम वाटर को 0 to 4 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड में इतना इमेजिन नहीं कर पाते, दिस we might not have seen, but this we have seen. The first part, this first part we have seen. The second part we might not have seen, but this is physical. We have seen it around us, and this is what we came to know after both TDS equations. Okay, so TDS equations are not tedious, they are wonderful. Yes, so let's move further and now let's focus on internal energy. To calculate internal energy, we need to calculate the work done. So we want to calculate the work done in isothermal compression. Since there is a compression, the volume will change. That means there will be some work done, definitely some work done. So work done on the system is minus PD. This is work done on the system. Why it is work done on the system? Because you are compressing the system, so you are doing the work. So we want to find work done on the system during this compression. And since the process is isothermal, we can change this variable from V to temperature or a pressure. Let's say pressure, we want to change this variable into pressure. So this dV can be changed as dV by dP into dP, and P remains the same. Okay, at constant temperature. You want to change the variable of integration, that's all. So it is del V by del P at constant temperature, P dP, and you know this guy, right? Del V by del P at constant temperature, what is it? Can anybody tell me? Okay, you know this. I just talked about it a few moments ago. If you increase the pressure, the volume goes down. This is compressibility. And since the temperature is constant, it is isothermal compressibility. So negative of this, you can write it as V times compressibility, isothermal compressibility. And if you take integration of PdP, you can do it, integration PdP. You are changing the volume. So this, here I use this fact, minus 1 by V, del V by del P at constant T is isothermal compressibility, kappa T. So it is PdP, this is integration, and it will eventually turn out to be V kappa T PF square minus PI square. I hope you get this. I hope you got this integration and everything, simple mathematics. This is the work done. And you can easily see that this work done is always positive because there are no terms which are negative in here. Anything you compress, its volume always goes down, always goes down. There is nothing called anomalous behavior or anything. Anything you compress, its volume goes down, anything. Volume down जा रहा है, वो काफी कम अमाउंट में जा रहा है, but it still goes down. Here also I used the trick. आपको पता है मैंने क्या ट्रिक यूज करी? I use the experimental fact कि for most solids and liquids Kappa-T also doesn't depend on pressure. Volume तो doesn't depend on pressure, हमने जो अभी थोड़ी देर पहले बात की. Kappa-T also doesn't depend on pressure. Let's take the example of mercury. So for example, mercury में आप जब pressure 0 atmospheric pressure से 1000 atmospheric pressure तक ले जाते हो, तो Kappa-T changes by only how many percent? 2%. So only 2% change in Kappa-T is observed by 1000% change in pressure. So we can just assume कि इसका कोई pressure dependency है, we can take it out of the integration and we do the integration of pressure part only. Here also I used that fact. Okay, so this is the work done, which is always positive. Work done is always positive, and therefore we can write this delta U. Therefore internal energy in isothermal compression, you can write it as delta U equal to delta Q minus delta W, and here this delta W is work done by the system, so I just write it like this, plus minus delta W, which is work done on the system, which we obtained just now, and delta Q also we obtained. So you can use these two guys. Delta Q is minus PV beta P PF minus PI plus minus delta W, or work done on the system, we obtained 1/2 V kappa T PF square minus PI square. You don't need to remember these formulas, right? You can derive them whenever required. So there are no need to remember these kind of formulas, because for each and every system these formulas might be different. So you can derive them whenever you want. So this is delta U. This delta U can be positive or negative, because this guy is always positive. This guy is always positive. But it is very small number. This guy is very small number. As we will do calculations tomorrow, we will understand कि whenever you are compressing something, its volume actually goes down by a very small fraction. So this number is always positive, but it is very small number. The work done is very small number, but this heat absorbed or extracted by the system or from the system is a very large number. So delta U's sign depends on delta Q. Okay, delta U's sign depends on delta Q, and in that process, delta U's sign depends on delta Q, and in that process, what you generally have is TV beta P. So if this is greater than 0, delta Q is greater than 0, or let's say for beta greater than 0 or beta less than 0. So if delta U is completely governed by this delta Q, and if beta is greater than 0, then delta U is negative. And if beta is less than 0, this delta U is positive for most solids and liquids. Okay, so this is for almost all the solids and liquids. Delta is negative if beta is greater than 0, and delta is positive if beta is less than 0. And this is for water, of course, for that small temperature zone. This is for all the other substances. So you can think about this. What do we mean by delta U positive and delta U negative? Okay, let's probe this physically as well, just as we did last time. So delta U is governed by this guy. Delta U is governed by this guy. By beta, or its sign will be governed by beta. So delta U is positive if beta is negative, and delta U is negative if beta is positive. Now, what do we understand from this physically? So delta U positive means system's internal energy increases. System's internal energy increases as you compress the system isothermally. And it means system's internal energy decreases as you compress the system isothermally. This is for water between that, this is for water, this is for all other substances. Okay, let me just see if I did it correct or not. Beta is, yes. So beta is less than 0 is for water between some temperature range. So 0 degree centigrade to 4 degree centigrade water and rubber band. And this is for most other substances. So for most other substances, we came to know that whenever we are compressing those substances, its internal energy, whenever we are isothermally compressing those substances, its internal energy decreases. So isothermal compression will cause decrease in internal energy for almost all the substances. Otherwise, for this substance, isothermal compression will cause increase in internal energy. इसका मतलब क्या है कि जो थॉर ने जब कैप्टन अमेरिका के हैमर पे जब हथौड़ा मारा था अपना, तब वो हैमर गर्म हुआ, उसको ठंडा करने के लिए आपने उसमें से हीट एक्सट्रैक्ट किया, तो उसका टेम्परेचर मेंटेन हुआ। और जब आपने हीट एक्सट्रैक्ट किया एट द सेम टाइम, जो वो मटेरियल था शील्ड का, कैप्टन अमेरिका के शील्ड का, वो मटेरियल के इंटरनल एनर्जी भी आपने कम किया, क्योंकि उसका उसमें से जो हीट था वो आपने एक्सट्रैक्ट किया है। So eventually this internal energy of that shield also goes down. But for water, this is not the case. The opposite is the case. Its internal energy goes up even if you compress it. Okay. So yes. So this is the case. This is what we can get from TDS equation. There is one more thing. I want 5 more minutes of you guys. There's one more thing that you can do from the second TDS equation itself. So it is its second application. In second application, we want to calculate temperature change for reversible adiabatic expansion. Adiabatic compression, let's say. So let's think about it. First, let's think about it physically, then we will do some mathematical calculations. You have a material with you. Let's go with the simplest case. You have a container of gas. Now you keep it in isolation. It means it cannot get heat from any of the outside source. This is a vacuum outside, so there is no heat exchange between the outside world and this container of gas, or gas in the container. No heat exchange. That means the process is adiabatic. Now you are compressing this gas. The temperature should increase or decrease. We talked about it yesterday. Temperature should increase or decrease if you are compressing it.
It should increase.
Temperature should increase. Yes, definitely temperature should increase. Just we talked about it yesterday. So let's do that calculation mathematically and find out whether the temperature actually increases or not. This is our intuition that is telling us कि जब भी आप पिस्टन को अंदर पुश करते हो तो जो मॉलिक्यूल उस पर टकराएगा, उसके बाद वो जब वापस जाएगा तो its momentum would have increased. Momentum would have increased means kinetic energy would have increased, and eventually the temperature would have increased. But let's talk about it. Let's think about it. Okay. So temperature change for reversible adiabatic compression. We are again using this TDS equation, but since the process is adiabatic, here ds equal to 0. For adiabatic process, there is no change in entropy. Therefore, ds equal to 0. And in this process, we can write this TDS is equal to 0. So since adiabatic process means TDS equal to 0, and we can go to this TDS equation. So this guy is 0, second TDS equation. So Cp dt equal to this guy, T into del V by del T and whatever. So therefore, Cp dt is equal to T into del V by del T at constant pressure dP. This is the equation we got, and therefore we can calculate the change in temperature as T into this guy. Whatever can I write? What can I write in place of this guy? Anybody tell me? This guy, small box.
V times the expansion coefficient.
At isothermal.
Yes.
Sorry, adiabatic, not isobaric. I'm sorry. Isobaric beta P. This is dP divided by this Cp. Now you can integrate both sides to get the temperature change. It is dV beta P by Cp, and it is delta P, means Pf minus Pi. So this is the change in temperature for any adiabatic compression. Now you can easily see that it is opposite to our intuition that when beta P is greater than 0, so in that case, if you increase the pressure, temperature increases. But if beta P is less than 0, which is the case for water anomalous behavior, in that region, not for all the temperature of water, but that is the case for that 0 to 4 degree water. Then in that case, even if you increase the pressure, the temperature will go down. And that is what we actually understood from the initial part as well. This part as well, we understood the same thing. Even if you increase the pressure, the temperature will go down in this part when beta is 0. So you have to supply some heat inside the system to keep it at the same temperature. Now, since you are not supplying the heat, its temperature will go down. And that is what we understood it. So you can relate these two results very well. तो जब बीटा ग्रेटर देन 0 है तो प्रेशर बढ़ाओगे तब टेम्परेचर भी बढ़ेगा. इट मींस आपको टेम्परेचर अगर कांस्टेंट रखना है तो हीट आउट करना पड़ेगा, और अगर हीट कांस्टेंट रखना है, दैट इज द केस ऑफ द सेकंड पार्ट, एडियाबैटिक पार्ट, तो आपको टेम्परेचर बढ़ता हुआ देखना पड़ेगा. एंड इन द अदर पार्ट, इफ बीटा इज लेस देन 0 तो प्रेशर बढ़ाओगे, टेम्परेचर कम होगा, और टेम्परेचर कम होगा तो अगर आपको टेम्परेचर कांस्टेंट रखना है तो हीट सिस्टम को देना पड़ेगा, और अगर आपको हीट नहीं देना है सिस्टम को तो टेम्परेचर को कम होते हुए देखना पड़ेगा. And this is what the conclusion of this part is. This is of course for that rubber band or 0 to 4 degree centigrade water. Okay, so this is the part, and this is the part and this is the use of TDS equation. और हमने इसका physical significance भी समझा भी. So eventually what you can do is you can derive the third TDS equation. The third TDS equation you can derive by assuming that S is a function of pressure and volume. Initially we assumed that S is a function of temperature and volume, temperature and pressure. Now you can assume S is a function of pressure and volume, and you can derive the third TDS equation. You can look up for it on the internet. That is the third TDS equation. You can see that, you can derive it, no problem. So that is the part. Okay, and I want you guys to do you have a copy of your book? That means the Mark Zimansky, the copy of your book or PDF copy of your book. If you have it, then I want you to do the question 10.8 from your problem set. Problems are given just after your after the 10th chapter ends, and I want you to do this problem. In that problem you can derive this formula as well, and you can see 3 other relations which are useful for which are not other relations, but which are the other way of writing this TDS equation. And you can easily do this. If you understood this class, you can easily do that part as well. So with this, I am stopping today's lecture. Actually, I wanted to cover something more, but I am not covering it right now. I will cover that and the problems tomorrow, since many of you are ready for the tomorrow class. So I will cover that part tomorrow. So with this, I am actually ending this session, and I am open for your doubts.